How you going, people? Well, here's some cops earning the hate. Typical, tyrannical, just uncalled for behavior. These are cops who, because they have their badges and guns, and because they go there, and because they're told they're heroes, and because they told their job's tough, that they can treat citizens like shit. This guy pulls up with his kids over a possible court order, minor court order violation. A lot of times when there's custody battles or custody disputes, the court will make rulings like, you know, you can only contact through email or text or no phone calls, or anytime y'all have physical contact or the transfer, it must be done at the police department, or it must be done at this location where we know there's a camera running 24/7, and you have to make all exchanges here because you two are fighting and you're always accusing each other, and we're tired of being called. So these calls are fairly routine. It's not that big of a deal. This guy, all he did was text, and the wife called the cops and said, the court order says he can only contact me through email. So she's trying to get him in a jam, and she ends up getting him in a jam, and she's happy now. She's embarrassed in front of her kids, and she gets no repercussions whatsoever. And now this guy's got all this shit because the cops go there acting like freaking heroes and gonna threaten to tase and beat the guy up. Here we go.
Have you been tased before?
No.
Okay, because you're about to get lit up. Put your cigarette down.
Okay, I'm not doing anything.
You know what? You're a big guy. I want you to kneel down right here and put your hands on your head.
Okay, so the fact that he put a taser on him, there's two cops, not you know, one cop alone. They're not contacting a violent felon. They're not in a neighborhood where unfriendlies are running out and they're worried about their safety. They are in a neighborhood with a guy with his kids on a complaint of a text instead of an email. Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, it's just freaking crazy the way these cops treat this guy.
Whatever. Could you 15 for me?
And this little thing about you're a big guy, get on your knees. Getting on your knees is a control. It's a intimidation. It is a, I'm going to show you who's in control. I'm going to give you commands that I know you don't want to do because I want you to resist. These two cops weren't afraid of this guy. They weren't scared of this guy at all. They were being freaking thugs. And then they lied in their reports when they wrote their reports. Absolutely outrageous, earning the hate.
I'm going to give you.
I got a pocket knife on my face.
Yeah, don't grab for it.
Don't touch it.
Use
Let your hands go.
those bracelets, please.
All right.
That way you don't have this.
All new at 6, a man caught in the crosshairs of a police taser, forced to the ground, and then arrested. All of this.
Nice pink dress, by the way. Women power. Oh, we're strong. We're empowered. We're whatever.
After another officer said he was about to punch the man in the face.
The man in the body camera video claims Mesa police violated his rights, and tonight he's speaking only to ABC 15 investigator Dave Biscobing. Did the officers act appropriately, or did they cross the line?
Are they like planning to write something? They got a pen and a paper standing here. Is she like writing something down? Is she going to take notes on something here? No, Rick, it makes it look like she's preparing and she's, you know, we have to stage this to make it look like they're really doing their background, and these are professional media people who are going to give us the truth. Look, in this case, they're not lying, and I appreciate them doing the investigation. I'm glad they're holding government accountable, which they normally don't. But I just have such a disdain for the media.
The whole thing was wrong. It ended up with me going to jail, being threatened, taser pointed at me, embarrassed in front of all my neighbors. My kids were watching this from a window upstairs.
For Jeff Lahassan.
Notice how they turn his... He's evil here.
At me, embarrassed in front of all my neighbors. My kids were watching.
See, he's just a nice guy who's doing this. Let's darken this.
Watching this from a window upstairs.
For Jeff Lahassan, it began last October.
We pulled up. There was two cops out front of my house.
So the guy's got two kids in a car. He pulls up to his house, and the two cops are there. I mean, is this really... Are the cops really afraid of this guy to be standing here like this? Freaking crazy.
Lahassan's ex-wife called police on him for texting her. After their divorce, a court order says they're only supposed to communicate through email. A routine call.
I guarantee you they have exchanged texts before, and she has texted him before. And because he didn't call the cops, it was no big deal. But she got her panties in a knot. She wanted to feel control. She wanted to hurt him. She was mad because he had the kids or something. And, I mean, dealing with freaking parents fighting over kids who hate each other a whole lot more than they love their kids is just so caustic and toxic and tiresome over the years.
That turned quickly after a simple misunderstanding when police asked him to read the texts and emails.
This is ridiculous, just like you. Well,
That's it. No.
Because he said this is ridiculous, just like you, this cop was ready to punch him in the face. The other cop had to stop this cop from reacting. He was ready to punch the guy in the face because he said this is ridiculous and so are you. And the other cop had to intervene and stop him. Rick, well, that's good because the cop stopped him. The cop shouldn't have to stop him. The fact that he tried to go after the guy for that statement tells you what the mentality of this cop is. This is outrageous.
Emails.
This is ridiculous, just like you. Well,
That's it. No. He's reading the email. I'm sorry.
He's about to get punched in the face.
Cop says, I was about to punch him in the face. Really? Because a guy says this is ridiculous and so are you, I was going to punch him in the face. Are you... Man, this is why good people... And this dude's not a criminal. I'm telling you. This guy's got a job. He's got a house. He's got his kids. He's got a vindictive, bitter ex-wife. Nobody's ever seen that before. I know it's pretty rare. But so she's going to make his life miserable and use the cops. And the cops are using pawns. And they're bored. So their big call of the night is to go harass a dude in front of his kids and family. Make him look like shit. Make him kneel down. Threaten to tase him. Arrest him for a technical violation of a court order about texting versus email. It's not like the guy was sending, 47 texts and was blowing up her phone and this was an ongoing issue. This is a simple text and the woman got her panties in a knot because it wasn't an email she wanted to call the cops on him. I mean, it's just outrageous.
So, did you just tell me you're going to punch me in the face?
Hey,
Read your email. Did you just tell me you're going to punch me in the face?
This guy is smiling and laughing. He is not being confrontational. He is not being aggressive. He's just like, dude, really? You're going to punch me in the face over an email? Because he's in shock. He can't believe that the guy was about to... He was like, damn, I almost got punched in the face for reading a text that I sent. I mean, it's just freaking crazy.
So, did you just tell me you're going to punch me in the face?
Hey,
Read your email. Did you just tell me you're going to punch me in the face? I said you were about to.
I'm going to tase you if you walk towards my officer again.
So now the other egomaniac freaking punk officer with a badge, all the badge pilots will be, Rick, it's a dangerous job, and you're always picking on the cops, and they have a tough job, and, the old fucking, well, you don't even know if they came from the baby in the microwave call. Shut up with all that crazy shit justifying this government tyranny abuse crap. These cops are both out of control. And they're feeding off each other, being macho in front of the guy's family and kids. If there's one thing they used to teach at the academy, is you don't take a person's dignity if you don't have to. You don't embarrass somebody uselessly. When you put somebody in a position where they feel like they've lost face, they've lost all respect, they've lost everything, they have nothing to lose. And you're going to cause a person to resist and fight and to do something that he wouldn't normally do. And that's not what you're supposed to do as a peace officer. These are the cops that absolutely have turned good people against the blue line, the blue police, the heroes.
I'm not messing around.
Supervisor, you just threatened to punch me in the face.
No, he did not.
We wanted you to see...
So the cop did say he was going to punch him in the face, and now the other cop who threatened to tase him said no, he did not say that. So they're lying on video.
I'm not messing around.
Supervisor, you just threatened to punch me in the face.
If you walk towards my officer again, I'm not messing
Call
around.
Supervisor, you just threatened to punch me in the face.
No, he did not.
We wanted you to see...
So, 2 officers. These officers aren't small. This guy aren't big. I mean, the guy's sitting here drinking a cup of coffee, smoking a cigarette, just talking to him. And this is why I tell you, don't talk to the police. Nothing good comes out of it. This guy's being cooperative. He should have just went in his house. Maybe they stopped and detained him. He should have not made any statements. Says, look, if you suspect me of a crime, I want an attorney. I got nothing to say. And not said anything. I'm telling you, people, when you're dealing with freaking out of control cops that aren't held accountable, like 90% of them are now, that, Rick, that's not true. There's just a few bad apples. Well, that's because you're an idiot. So just don't freaking cooperate or talk to the cops. They are not your friends. They will turn it around and they will use it against you. They will figure out a way to make what you say that you were threatening, they were in fear of their safety, and they had to do things to control you because you were being violent and threatening. That's exactly what they did to this dude. This dude is no more of a threat than a freaking kid playing in a playground.
See the raw video unedited. Watch it once and it goes fast. Let's break it down and add subtitles.
I ain't contacting her anymore. I understand the point.
What the officer on the right doesn't understand is that Lahasset is about to read the first line of this email between him and his ex-wife. He's not talking to the officer.
This is ridiculous, just like you. Well,
That's it. No, he's reading the email. I'm sorry.
It's about to be punched in the face. So, you just tell me you're going to punch me in the face?
Hey,
Read
you know
your
what?
email. Did you just tell me you're going to punch me in the face? I said you were about to.
This is when they say Lahasset walked towards the officer.
I'm going to tase you if you walk towards my officer again.
I didn't walk towards anybody.
I'm not messing around.
Supervisor, you just threatened to punch me in the face.
No, he did not. You know what?
You
know what? Put your coffee down. Have you been tased before?
No.
Okay, because you're about to get lit up.
The officers then continued to deny that Officer Carroll threatened to punch Lahasset.
You just told me you're going to punch me.
No, he did not. I'm standing here. I've witnessed it, sir.
When I watched it, I was in shock.
I'm not in shock. I'm just so fed up with it. And this is why when cops are getting killed and blown away, people are like, so? You guys brought on yourself. You've earned the hate. You've lost the respect of the people because of shit like this that goes on 90% of the time on 90% of the calls. And look, I'm a pretty reasonable person. I do not think that I am being far off when I say this. Every contact that I see either in person, on video, in the news, or people I talk to, this is the conduct of the freaking cops nowadays. And it's just damn ridiculous.
Absolutely couldn't believe the way this guy was treated.
Jeff Lahasset's attorney, Mark Victor, says that this incident raises a lot of questions.
For anybody who thinks that police body cams are not a good idea, take a look at this one.
He points to the written police report filed in this incident. It doesn't say anything about a second officer being there, about the punch comment, or about a taser being pulled.
This is absolutely criminal. This is called obstruction of justice. If you lie to the police and obstruct an investigation, you will be charged. Yet the cop can flat out lie. I've never written a report and not put in if there's another officer there or another incident. And as a matter of fact, most good officers, if they're there, they cut you a supplement. And a supplement is just an attachment to your report. So if I'm the primary officer, I do my report, I take all the paper, I do all the witness and everything. But if I say, hey, dude, would you go interview that person real quick, see if they saw anything? Okay. That person, that officer, sometimes will come back and go, hey, here's the contact info. She says she didn't see anything. On something like that, I would just write a report. Officer so-and-so interviewed her, and she told him he didn't say anything. And I would put her contact information as a witness. But if she said anything, normally I'd say, yo, man, cut me a sub, because that makes it first party. That makes it best evidence. Then I'm not writing, and you can write here, say, in a report. That's not a big deal. You're not going to get it in court, though. So if normally, like I said, good officers, if I go interview somebody, I don't go back and tell the officer, hey, man, I contacted the person here. She said, see you later. I got to go 10-8. Bye. That's lazy, incompetent. That's shitty police work. I hated cops like that. CHP was the best for that. Show up, hit people, interview people, do all kind of shit, get in their car and leave. You wouldn't even be able to know what their name is. They wouldn't even let you get your name before they drove off into the sunset going to play freaking Super Cop and ride a ticket. So, I mean, they were just the master of doing that. But there's a lot of cops that work in cities that do the same thing. You know, a lot of the older cops that don't want to cut paper. If there's not a policy, I told a story in Vallejo that, you know, every time there was a homicide or a shooting or a really bad incident, all the cops would usually swing by, you know, check out the crime scene, check out the victims, see if there was any hot women there. I mean, cops were bored, so we'd go up there and we'd all show up. Well, and nobody would write paper, you know. So later on, the DA would say, dude, I only got 4 cops that wrote me a report. There's video footage on TV where there was 20 cops there. Who the hell were the other cops, and what did they do, and did they go into crime scene? So after a while of the DA complaining about this, they wrote a policy that said, you know what? If you show up to a scene, you will cut paper. No more showing up and just looking. If it's important enough for you to be there, you're going to cut paper. You cut paper, even if you just show up, said I looked, I asked if I could be of help, they said I didn't need help, and I left. You'd have to write a report on that. Guess what? Nobody showed up to these scenes anymore unless they had to, unless they were dispatched. So that's how that was handled. But it's just, cops just don't like to write paper. I mean, over the years, you write encyclopedias of paper and reports and forms. And so the last thing a cop wants to do is get involved in paper if he don't want to. So this cop shows up. He threatens, I'm going to punch you in the face. He jacks the guy up. He causes this whole thing, and he doesn't even write a report. And then the other cop, Mr. I'm going to tase you if you ain't never been tased before. I'm going to light you up. He doesn't even mention that the other cop was there. That's just lying. That's a false report. Omission of the truth is a lie. He's hiding evidence that the prosecution or the defendant, and it's exculpatory, meaning that the defense has a right to it. Without this videotape, nobody would know there was another cop there or what he said. There would be no proof. So, I mean, this to me is just another outrageous incident that happens every day in every city 20 times a day because of lack of accountability, because nobody loses their job. Nobody is held accountable. I mean, it's pretty simple. If a couple cops are fired for leaving shit out of a report, guess what? Cops like to bitch about how dangerous the job is and how hard it is. Ain't none of them quitting. Ain't none of the cops walking away. They just hang around and bitch. So I'm telling you, when cops start losing their jobs for leaving shit out of a report, guess what? Cops will stop leaving shit out of a report. It's called accountability. I know you other idiots will be out there saying, they need more training. That cop should have been trained on how to write it. It is not a training issue. I can train the shit out of you, and if you go out there and ignore the training and don't follow the training, all the training in the world does absolutely nothing. It is about accountability, that if I give you the training and you don't use it, you're going to be held accountable. That's the problem. Outrageous.
The second officer also never wrote a report himself.
If he didn't have that body camera, there'd be almost no way for you to prove that that happened.
There would be none. Absolutely none.
In response, Mesa police say they've never received an official complaint in this case.
Until it was brought to us by your station, we didn't even know about this.
Mesa police have embraced body cameras.
Well, that's part of the problem. Why wouldn't you know about this? You're trusting the wrong officers. Why are your officers not telling you this? Do you not listen to the radio? Do you not have a sergeant out there listening to the radio that know that I sent 2 cops? A sergeant reviews the reports. When a sergeant got the report, didn't he know that, hey, man, there was 2 cops there? When you guys took them in custody, we dispatched 2 cops. What, are you telling me your sergeant, not only your officers liars and incompetent, but your sergeants, obviously, when he reviewed the report, is too stupid to know that we sent 2 officers, but I only got 1 report, and it doesn't mention the other officer. So you got incompetent sergeants? Is that, oh, we didn't even know about it. It wasn't our fault. We're government. We're very accountable. We're very attuned to the public, and we're here to hold accountability. But you know what? If we just had more money, we could put checks and balances in to make sure this doesn't happen again. Just give us more money. And if we had more officers who could check and follow up on this, then we would be accountable. Then we would be competent. Freaking outrageous.
Every officer is set to get one in the next few years, and they've done studies that show body cameras have reduced their use of force complaints by 75%.
Okay, listen to that statement again, people, because that's not what's happening.
Studies that show body cameras have reduced their use of force complaints by 75%.
Body cameras do not reduce use of force complaints. They reduce use of force. They hold officers accountable. Officers don't use force as much because they know they're on camera. That's why the use of force goes down. They made it sound like, oh, the cameras stop complaints. No. It stops officers from doing shit that people need to complain about. It's called accountability.
No one was hurt. No one was injured. That's the best outcome Really?
That's the best outcome, dude? Really? If you as a black man was kneeled down in front of your kids and arrested when you shouldn't have been and treated like shit and threatened to be punched in the face and threatened to be tased, would that be the best outcome? Oh, look, I'm officer of the police department. I'm officer friendly. That was the best outcome. Look, if we didn't shoot you, I mean, that's the best outcome. What more do you want? I mean, we could have shot you. What more do you want? The best outcome is we didn't shoot you. Freaking outrageous what this guy just said.
75%.
No one was hurt. No one was injured. That's the best outcome we can have.
Yeah, guy's arrested in front of his kids and family. Didn't do anything wrong. Was threatened to be punched in the face. Threatened to be tased. Had to be kneeled down, handcuffed, taken to jail because your officers were freaking being macho assholes. Earning the hate. You want to know why good people don't like and don't support? You want to know why I don't like and don't support the cops? Because of thousands of incidents just like this. Outrageous. All right, we'll end that there.